11 and 13-year-old daughters. They do a lot of horse shows, and they come to the track and help me a little bit with this epidemic that's going on. They've been to the track and helped me a lot this year, and a lot of sports.
That's great.
Yeah, speaking of that, how did you get through that 3 months when you really didn't have much work to do?
Well, my job kind of was the same, getting the young horses, 2 and 3-year-olds ready. So it really didn't affect me totally. We started a little bit later maybe, but I was still prepping all the young horses.
Now, I'm sure you were watching yesterday, you were here with us or whatever. Give us your impressions of a really special performance by Party Girl Hill. What did you think of her mile?
It was amazing. Great horse.
When was the last time you sat behind a great horse like that?
Well, I don't get that opportunity a lot. There's a lot of guys better than me, and I'm actually just blessed to drive Lena Stone. Mark's pretty loyal, and we've had a long history together, and I get to drive that horse is nice.
Can you tell us about the best horse you've ever driven?
Well, I'd say the most trying horse is actually Lena Stone. I've drove a lot of nice horses, just prepping them for big races and stuff, get to qualify good ones, and I used to go to Lexington a lot and get to drive off and on some decent horses, but never to keep with the horse and follow him.
Did you drive Lena Stone all through the Sire 6 Championship and everything?
Yeah, I've drove him almost, I think every race but one, Mark drove him.
And he's made, what, darn near $500,000 or so, hasn't he?
For sure, yep.
Yeah.
Are you coming to Lexington this year?
A little bit, yep.
Okay. What does the rest of the year look like for Jeff Nysonger? I know the fairs wrap up eventually, you get some finals, and then what?
Just Northfield every night.
Yeah, it seems like it. Wow. That's a long trip for us.
Is that depressing?
I beg. I call him and beg him to enter fairly often.
If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't.
All right. Jeff, favorite Jug Week memory or place to go eat? What do you look forward to when you get here every year?
I'll just get to visit everyone. That's the main thing. You see a lot of people you don't normally see through the year.
Well, we are also missing a lot of people that should be sitting with us and the fans, so that's got to be a little strange for you.
Yeah, it is. It's awkward.
All right, well.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks
Enter
you very
tomorrow
much.
for Wednesday,
Bye,
my
Jeff.
man.
Thank you.
Enter tomorrow for Wednesday. There you go, Jeff.
Gotcha.
Hey, thanks for taking a couple of minutes. Good luck there in the 13th race. Come on through as the morning line favorite and end this day on a winning note. Jeff Nysonger, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. 11th race starting gate, the Webkenberg starting gate moving into position. Hopefully you've got your pick 4 tickets in, Dave. I see the guaranteed pool. We've got a purse number. That's new money, right? So we're adding another $20,000+ into the pool, so more than double the guarantee.
Hey,
right.
Dave, I have a shout out.
Go.
Yes.
Before we go to the gate, my friends are still watching from Kentucky. Mark and Jane, Rod and Sherry, Kelly and Craig, Danny and Cheryl, and their families. They've been with us this whole week. Camped out there in Kentucky watching us. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you're enjoying it.
All right, glad to hear that. Hopefully they're enjoying a couple of nice sandwiches and eventually a good dinner as well. Race 11, Ohio Breeders' Championship fillies, 3-year-olds of the pacing variety. They're going for over $46,000 in this one.
They're at the gate. Gate is rolling. Still time, but you'll have to hurry. That $10,000 guaranteed pick 4 pool starting here. The 11th race, Ohio Breeders' Championship. 3-year-old filly pacer, sponsored by the stable.ca. Field of 7 sophomore pacing fillies are all in behind the gate in the Ohio Breeders' Championship. And here they come. Break the 6, PJ's Legacy before the start. They're all fan pacing and firing away. There goes Pen, Paper, Page circling right up to take the lead here. From the inside, Rio Rockin' Ravi has come away racing in 2. Along the inside, Artful Dancer there in 3rd, just ahead of in 4th. That's the 3, BJ's Rocket. In and out of the turn and over to the opening quarter. Away in 5, that's Alligator. Followed up in 6 by Rock and Go BB. And 7th and trailing the field of the gate breaker, PJ's Legacy. The opening quarter was 28 and 2. Into that turn for the first time and up top of the lead here. That's Pen, Paper, Page. Pen, Paper, Page, leading it comfortably by a length and a half. Rio Rockin' Ravi is there, stalking into first to the flush, coming to the outside. Here comes Artful Dancer, sit underway, snagging that cover, second over the outside, racing in 4th. That's BJ's Rocket as they passes for the first time and head on over to the half. Pen, Paper, Page has had it her way throughout, but right alongside Artful Dancer. These two going to slug it out through a half and 57 1/5. Watching over the doing leaders from 3rd. That's Rio Real Rockin' Ravi, second over the outside, perfectly placed in fourth, BJ's Rocket, followed in 5 from the inside, Alligator, third over the outside, racing in 6, that's Rockin' Go, BB in 7th and trailing the field, PJ's Legacy. Heads are pointed towards 3/4 and the drums are beating up top. Pen, Paper, Page with a lead here, and now to the outside, Artful Dancer could not go on. They went 3/4 and won 24 and 2/5. Pen, Paper, Page, Pen, Paper, Page looks to have fought off the 2 Artful Dancer. Moving through to be second now, Real Rockin' Ravi, and Real Rockin' Ravi's angled off the pylons with less than a 16th to go. They're on the way home in Delaware, Ohio. Pen, Paper, Page set down up top, but here's Real Rockin' Ravi on the outside. Pen, Paper, Page, Real Rockin' Ravi. Those two hit the wire together. Photo for win. Time of the mile 1:52 flat. Can't split them. Input them.
Dave, I said Pen, Paper, Page held on. What do you think?
I think so, but I think this one was even closer than the last couple we've seen. David Miller, perfect drive there, but I don't know if he quite reached at the end with the long shot.
Well, you see
Real
them, they're
Rockin' Ravi.
talking about it, him and
Yeah.
Tyler Smith. Usually these guys almost always know when they hold on. We pick it up on the in the stretch for the first time here, and it was a nice easy lead for Pen, Paper, Page and Tyler Smith. We spoke to him earlier, and he kind of told us how good this filly was, and no surprise here. He's going to shake off the 3-5 favorite Artful Dancer and Dan Noble, but there's Dave Miller lurking in the pocket, and anytime he gets a trip like that, you better watch out.
Yeah, it looked like here Pen, Paper, Page was going to run off. She put away the favorite, but Real Rockin' Ravi was kind of gapped out in the pocket, but then caught up and just kept surging in the lane, and it is about as close as you can get here at the wire.
Let's watch the slow-mo replay here. Tyler Smith asking for everything, as is Dave Miller. Here comes the wire. I'm staying inside.
I think you're right. Pen, Paper, Page really
Second view.
does not get the credit she deserves. She is now in Ohio. If she won this, she won the Sire Stakes final and the Breeders' Championship, 2 out of 3 of the Triple Crown.
There it is. It is on the board. 3-1 the price with Tyler Smith on Pen, Paper, Page as they hold off the late surge of Real Rockin' Ravi and Dave Miller. 5-1-4-7 with the 3-5 favorite off the board. I think we're in for some really nice payoffs here.
Yeah, definitely. Pen, Paper, Page, 4 wins now on the year. Wasn't the favorite in any of them. So she's really, overachieved as far as the bettors are concerned.
Yeah, she sure has. Second win of the day for Tyler Smith, too. He won earlier on the card with, I can't even, Hoochie Gal.
Yes.
Right, Hoochie Girl.
Yep.
She was the favorite, though. All right, working his way back to the winner's circle is Mr. Tyler Smith. The 27-year-old with the filly by Pet Rock. Jeff Smith trains for Shirley Levan.
Trackside of the Sugar Valley Farm winner's circle. Well, the unofficial winner of the 11th race, posting her 4th win in 2020. And the 10th win of her career. This time home, a winner at 152 flat. Establishing a new lifetime mark, Ohio Breeders' Championship. She won the Ohio Sire Stakes final. The 5, Pen, Paper, Page. A 3-year-old bay filly by Pet Rock out of a Park Lane Page. She by Art Major, owned by Shirley A. Levin of Barrington Hills, Illinois. Trained by Jeff Smith. Nicely handled here this afternoon by Jeff Smith's son, Tyler Smith. Mom and Dad in the winner's circle with the 5, Pen, Paper, Page. And driver Tyler Smith. This one a homebred, bred by Shirley Levin as well of Illinois. 5, Pen, Paper, Page. New lifetime mark, 152 flat, and also a stakes record. Stakes record, 152 flat. This race sponsored by thestable.ca. The 5, Pen, Paper, Page. Stakes record, new lifetime mark, 152 flat.
Dave, we've had a lot of stakes records. In fact, we've had some world records. There is a look at that photo, and I'll tell you what, if I had known it was that close, I probably wouldn't have called it. That is 1 inch. That's about as small of a nose victory that you can get. And great to hear Jason identify the family members in the winner's circle. When Tyler got there and hopped out of the sulky seat, got a big hug there for Mom. We love to see that. That's what harness racing's all about, family.
Yep. Fair time is fun time.
Excellent.
Yep. Pen Paper Page, $8.60, $5.20, and $5.20. Real Rockin' Robbie paid $8.60 and up to $10 on the show win. And the 4 Alligator, $8.80 to show. 5-1 Perfecta, $53.30. 5-1 Try, $85.25.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Settlemore, for identifying the family members. I asked Bianconi, and you know how it worked. He came up light.
The 11th race here, the 5 Pen Paper Page returning $8.60, $5.20, $5.20. Second, the 1 Real Rockin' Ravi, $8.60, $10, and that's okay. The 4 Alligator, $8.80. $1 Perfecta, 5-1, $53.30. 50-cent Try, 5-1 $85.25. Rundown for the 11th race, the 1 Real Rockin' Ravi, 2. The 2 Artful Dancer, 5. The 3 BJ's Rocket, 6. The 4 Alligator, 3. The 5 Pen Paper Page, the race winner, stakes record, new lifetime mark, 152 flat. The 6 PJ's Legacy, 7. The 7 Rockin' Go BB, 4. Recheck top to bottom. It should read 256 317 4 on the bottom. Upcoming 12th race, the Buckeye Stallion Series, 3rd Division, 2-year-old colt in gelding pace at 1 mile. We're down to a field of 7 as we scratch the rail horse, BBT, injured. The 1 BBT has been withdrawn, injured out of the upcoming 12th race. Win, play, show, perfecta, trifecta, superfecta wagering, and let's kick it downstairs to Wendy Ross. I believe she's got winning driver Tyler Smith.
Thank you very much, Jason. Joining me is Tyler Smith. Tyler, I know this filly's really special to you. She makes it 2 in a row today. New lifetime mark. Got your mom and dad in the winner's circle with you, but she's just a talented filly. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. You know, like that we said earlier, she got sick about middle ways of the summer, and you know, thank God she got sick then, because she's coming right back into the mare we thought she was and coming right back into form.
Winning races is always fun, but doing it for Dad makes it extra special, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, my dad's everything to me. That's the reason I got started. He put me to where I am today. You know, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be being able to even think about winning races at Delaware. You know, it's something special.
It was just a few years ago we were interviewing you with Sam McKee. You were just young starting out, but you've had so much talent, and to have a double on Jug Day, it's no surprise. Has to feel good, right?
Oh, yeah, you know, everybody wants to be here Thursday and Thursday, but, you know, winning races here at Delaware never gets old.
You had your mom and dad in the winner's circle today, but I think there's a little girl missing. You want to give her a little shout out?
Oh, yeah, my little one's back home watching. You know, with everything going on, she couldn't make it, but I guarantee you she was definitely rooting for Papa and Daddy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Winning driver, Tyler Smith.
Thank you very much, Wendy, as we head to break from the files of the one and only Bob Hollywood Hayden, who was the only driver to ever win his first 2 jugs. We'll find out when we return to the Delaware County Fairgrounds after this. There's a look at an unfortunately almost empty grandstand.
Yeah.
Bow River has been designing Little Brown Jug jewelry for over a quarter of a century. Go to bowriverjewelry.com to see our limited edition 75th anniversary Little Brown Jug pin and 50th anniversary Jugette pin under the Little Brown Jug tab. Browse our Standardbred collection, Equestrian collection, and our expanded Equestrian Bridal collection. bowriverjewelry.com, original designs and quality you can trust.
Harris Hoosier Park invites you to an exclusive opportunity to bid on a 2021 breeding of the top 6 stallions in harness racing as part of the Breeders' Crown Charity Challenge. The breedings will be auctioned off at the 2020 Lexington Select Yearling Sale on October 6th at 6:45 p.m. at the Fazig-Tipton Sales Pavilion. All proceeds of the Breeders' Crown Charity Challenge will be donated to charity. Join us in person or bid online at www.lexingtonselected.com.
We welcome you back to the friendly confines of the Delaware County Fairgrounds here in Delaware, Ohio, Central Ohio. Coming up on 5 minutes to post for race number 12. Quick heads up, we're going to speak to our esteemed outrider, Missy Rothfuss. We'll put her under the headset in just a few moments after the post parade. But just to answer that trivia question from the files of Bob Hollywood Hayden, who was the only driver to ever win, I guess, with his first 2 jug drives. I should have written that down better. And the answer would be...
Is it Mike LaChance?
It's Mike LaChance. Very good, Mr. B. B.J. Scoot and goalie Jeff, back-to-back. I didn't write the years down, but I'm sure somebody can look that up.
Got to be 80s.
I think it was. But his very first 2 drives resulted in trips to the winner's circle. He is the only one to do that in the 74-year history of the race as we contest the 75th edition coming up. Hopefully the bettors out there got in on pen, paper, page to kick off that guaranteed pick 4. Again, that pool was well over $20,000. If we get the final number, we will let you know. Some of the jug horses that are out there on the track warming up, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Let's see, that might have been Catch the Fire there. I saw it was number 5 because it didn't look like Jim Campbell in the jog cart. So maybe an early look at the horse that could be the favorite. Jim Campbell actually is on the first turn. There's a 7. There's Tell Them Lou, and that would be Jim Campbell, I believe. So always good to get a little view of the horses, how they negotiate the turns here, how they feel going over the kind of clay surface here. Maintained by Greg Kuhn and company.
Between Twitter and texting, it was 88-89 for a little chance.
88-89.
Yeah.
Are you guys still doing shout-outs?
Yeah,
I just
sure.
got one.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Hey, Wendy, and this is from Janet Campbell. She's part of the Meadows crew over there. Janet and John Campbell, they're watching the show with Doug and Jan Snyder, you know, Doug Snyder and the Snyders from over there in North Huntington, Pennsylvania. They said they wish we could be at the jug in person, and they said we're doing a great job.
All right.
So thank you so much, and those are just longtime Meadows people, and thank you for tuning in.
All right, as
Absolutely.
they get ready to step on the track, there is Tell Them Lou in front of us, looking very good.
Doug Snyder
in his warm-up.
You know, I came up going to the Meadows when I was a kid when I go visit my grandparents, and they love Doug Snyder.
Doug Snyder is like a staple.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he is.
And Jan Snyder is from Ohio. So
Right.
she's a Buckeye, and I can't remember exactly how they met, but I know that she's Ohio, and you know, Doug's from over there. So.
All right, here's another quick Hayden question. Who won the first jug in under 1 minute 55 seconds? That one shouldn't be too hard. We'll give you that answer a little bit later. In the meantime, on the track they step. The Buckeye Stallion Series for the 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. This is the 3rd division, 17,500. Scratch the 1.
Stepping to the track for the 12th race, Scratch the 1, BBT injured. Buckeye Stallion Series, 2-year-old colt and gelding pace, 3rd division. Purse is $17,500, offering win, play, show. Perfecta, trifecta, superfecta wagering. Field of 7 now, being led to the post by the 2, Twig. Owned by Julie Farley, Bradford, Ohio, trained by Mike Paul Hamus with Chris Page. The 2 is Sandra Burnett of Wilmington, Ohio's Ocean Blue, trained by Christy Noble with Dan Noble. The 4 is Section Line Twister, owned by Harold Lee Bowder of Delaware, Ohio, and Steve Bowder of Greenville, Ohio, trained by Steve Bowder with Jeff Nysonger. The 5 is KB Mack, owned by Kenneth Saunders of Ohio, John Saunders of Colorado, trained by Dan Vanier with Ryan Stahl. The 6 is Dive Bar, owned in partnership by Here's to Us Stable and Chris Hawkins, both of the Buckeye State, trained by Ron Steck with Ty Smith. The 7 is Willis of Newark, Ohio, Code of Newark, Ohio, and Ty Loy of Columbia Station, Ohio, and Doug Gregory of Utica, Ohio, and Natural Gem, trained by Ty Loy with Kurt Sugg. And for the outside of the 8, Yankee Keeler, owned by a piece of the Action LLC of Culver City, California, trained by Herman Hegerman, with Hunter Myers in the sulky. That's the field for the 12th race. Win, play, show. Perfecta, trifecta, superfecta wagering. Buckeye Stallion Series, 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. 3rd division, Scratch the 1, BBT injured. Good luck, everyone.
Thank you very much, Jason. One of my favorite parts of the week, even though I usually have to talk her into do it, is getting to talk to our outrider here at the Delaware County Fairgrounds. It's Missy Rothfuss. Missy, how is your day going so far?
Well, it was pretty exciting not too long ago.
I know. Apparently, Marrakesh Express gave you and Jasmine a couple of headaches there, but you know, as usual, you know, the team of you made the difference.
Oh, God. All the credit goes to Jazz. She is riding. I just picked up that horse. We got him at a sale. My husband, Jim Rothfuss, actually picked him up. I'm not a paint person, and he watched him jump up where they load the cattle, and he's like, you need to buy that horse. I'm like,
More money. You had to write another check.
Right. So we buy him. He ended up having a bad abscess. They must have gave him some ACE in the muscle. He got gas gangrene. We had to lance it open. He literally just started riding outriding. Like I took him a couple races last week at the Meadows just to make sure. He came to do the post parade while Jazz rode Sunday between her drives. She's like, I'll use him.
Wow. Well,
And-
he looks like an old pro because we're showing the video right now of her latching onto the lines and desperately holding on for dear life.
It was, I'll tell you what, that was a hard catch because they were flying.
Oh.
And then that horse, she couldn't get my horse, Tico. She couldn't get him pulled up. And she's like, Missy, grab me. So I got him pulled, and he settled right down. But for a horse to go in that has very little experience, he's a unicorn.
Well, now you know you've got some talent to work with, huh?
Yeah, I do, and I owe a lot to Jazz. She's really helped me out with him this week. I mean, she's a heck of a rider. She comes to the Meadows and fills in when I need her. I mean, she's just so awesome.
That is great because we love the team effort that you guys have always had. Did you have a parade marshal here yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, Savannah's out there on my horse, Dude, who me and him on Tuesday, we had a broken bit.
Oh.
And he nailed the broken bit. I mean, it's been a busy week, and I don't like it. I'm going to go back to the Meadows because nothing happens there.
It's a little quiet.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I want to offer you congratulations on the part of all of us United States harness riders. Earlier this year, you were the recipient of the Unsung Hero Award. I think the Keystone chapter nominated you for that. Where were you when you found out you were getting a nice big award?
I think it was in the barn. I don't know. It was right when we got shut down. So everything was kind of jumbled because you're trying to figure out what to do with the horses, what we're going to do, and everything. It was just a wreck. But I was extremely honored and happy.
So it made you feel good?
Yeah, it made me feel really good. I mean, it's quite an honor. I mean, it's my job.
All right, okay. Well, it is your job, but still, you know, you are one of the best at it, and you deserve an award like this, so we just wanted to say congrats.
Oh, thank you
Now,
so much.
I have a list. I think it was Michael Carter interviewed you, and they had a nice article on U.S. Trotting or in Hoofbeats recently. So here's the list of, I think, horses and or dogs. You explain the rundown here and get me straight. I've got
Okay.
Salem.
Salem.
I've got Dude.
Yep.
I've got T.
Yep.
I've got Sam.
Yep.
I've got Pally.
Yep.
And I've got Wingnut.
Yep.
And maybe even Oz.
Oz, he is working for, I can't think of it. He went to work with a kid, Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
He's working with kids with cancer. Sam, I sold. He wasn't cut for it. T, the girl that's parade marshaling, I sold him to her. She wanted a step-up barrel horse. He actually rode at the Meadows this week, so we still have the privilege of using him. Tico's one of my newest ones. He's on the track. I have Bugs now.
Bugs.
Yep, Bugs is my little quarter horse. He worked at the Meadows this week, too. And Wingnut is my little trotter that I started training to be an outriding horse. He was doing really good. He ponies. He's so smart. But unfortunately, he races on Friday, and our qualifiers are on Thursday. So he's a little hot. I don't want to mess him up because he has been racing really good for us doing it this way. So I just teach him the pony, teach him all the basics, and we race him.
Generally, when you get a new horse, how long does it take them to transition into the job that you do?
Well, Tico's a unicorn. The rest of them, my Bugs horse, it took me about a month and a half, 2 months to get him to do qualifiers. Most, it takes about 3 months. They don't usually become finished until about 3 years with the experience because you don't have a lot of loose horses, and when you do, you don't know what they're going to do. They're not like that Payne horse. That Payne's a unicorn. Like, I'm still in shock how good he is.
Why did we dress up in the yellow today, and where did you find that mask?
The mask I got on eBay, it's a mask I always wear, and yellow for the jug, brown and gold, so.
Well, you guys are doing an excellent job. It seems like we get like at least one loose horse a week during Jug Week down
Yeah, I
here.
know. I don't like it. I'm grateful. I have a great team of horses. Jazz. I always have great girls riding with me. I had Courtney last year. It was great to ride under Cindy. So I'm very lucky that way. And I'm an outrider that don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope you have a nice, safe, relaxing rest of the afternoon out there in the sunshine. Put some sunscreen on, put a hat on, and we'll see you back out there in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Missy Rothfuss, the outrider, here at the Delaware County Fairgrounds, and they've been in quite some action so far this week. Race 12 up next here, second leg of that guaranteed pick 4. It's a Buckeye Stallion Series Division 2-year-old pacing colts and geldings. Field of 7 after the scratch of the 1 BBT.
It's the Buckeye Stallion Series 2-year-old colt and gelding pace. Down to a field of 7 with a scratch of the 1 BBT injured. So 7 of them moving up and moving in. Behind the Webkenberg starting gate on the upper turn, the gate swing to the top of the stretch here in Delaware, Ohio, and Here they come. Rough gated behind the gate, the 2 Twig. They're all fan pacing and firing out of there. There goes Ocean Blue. Ocean Blue crossing right over, but driving up on the outside. Dive Bar. Dive Bar is looking to get there to the front and will angle to the pylons too, as Ocean Blue and Danny Noble one at the point here. Dive Bar yields for the garden spot, racing in 2 along the inside. Twig racing 3rd. Gap at 2 racing 4th. That's Section Line Twister, followed in 5th by KB Max, 6th there. That's Natural Gem in 7th and trailing the field. Yankee Keeler. The opening quarter was 28 2/5, and into that turn for the first time, and up top of the lead here, Ocean Blue. Ocean Blue and Danny Noble dictating the fractions by a length in 3 parts. To the inside, Dive Bar is there in 2. Twig is under a snug hold, racing in 3rd. Section Line Twister and Nicesonger angle to the outside in 4th, and flushing out Twig. First over on the outside. Along the inside, racing in 5. KB Max, 6th there. That's Natural Gem. And 7th and trailing, Yankee Keeler. Rolling into the payoff half. Halfway home, 57 2/5. Ocean Blue's been up top through a second quarter there in 29 seconds flat, leading the way by a tight length. Twig to the outside, racing in 2 along the inside. Dive Bar watches over these dueling leaders from 3rd. Second over on the outside, perfectly placed in 4th. That's Section Line Twister. 5th and buried there, KB Mac. 3rd over the outside in 6th, Natural Gem. And 7th and trailing the field, Yankee Keeler. They went by 3 quarters in 1:26 flat. They'll pace the final turn and head for home. Twig from the outside, but battling back on the inside. Ocean Blue is coming back to him and looking for racing room. That's Dive Bar outside in 4th. Section Line Twister as they turn for home with less than a 16th to go. And driving through the stretch here in Delaware, Ohio, Twig to the outside. Looks to have got the better of Ocean Blue here as they come to the wire. Twig is all wrapped up. Finishing second's going to be the 6, Dive Bar. 3rd to the 5, KB Mac. 4th there to round out the superfecta. The 3, Ocean Blue. Time of the mile, 1:54 and 1/5, Twig.
Well, Dave, I'll tell you what, the big 1-9 favorite Twig does get the job done, but there were a couple of anxious moments there at the start. It didn't look like he was fully ready to go.
Yeah, and then he had to kind of go a big mile on the outside, but he certainly pushed through at the end. Ocean Blue cutting the mile. That's Ocean Rock's full brother.
And he raced great.
And he was game for quite some time. But Twig, once he put his mind to it here in the final turn, was just too much. Just a good-looking horse. Only his 7th lifetime start, now 6 wins for trainer Mike Polhamus.
Now, for a second there, it looked like Twig was going to pace around Ocean Blue on the final turn, but he didn't quite get there. He had to wait for the stretch, but Chris Page's patience, I guess, paid off in the end.
Yep.
2, 6, 5, and 3 under the wire. Twig off at odds of 1-9. Nice prices underneath, but you'll always see that with a 1-9 shot on top. 2, 6, 5, 3. Dive Bar, KB Mac for Ryan Stahl, and Ocean Blue holds on to 4th after a pretty gutsy and game effort on the lead. While we have a second here before Chris gets back to the winner's circle, we're joined by the master of the Sugar Valley Farms again, Joe McLeod. We got to chat with him briefly yesterday. Joe, we're going to talk a little bit about the Jug Select sale that you guys had a couple of Fridays ago, or last Friday as well. And then I want to ask you about your radio interview yesterday. You were there with a special guest, right? Who was that? Who was on the radio with you? Didn't you do a radio interview? Yes.
Yes, my son. That was pretty cool. It was his first interview ever. He was a little nervous. And
so how did he do?
He did good. I'm very proud of him. He's a very good kid.
All right. In the meantime, we'll get more into that later. Twig and Chris Page back to the winner's circle.
Sugar Valley Farm winner's circle, the 2 Twig taking the Buckeye Stallion Series, 2-year-old colt in gelding pace, 3rd division, timed at 1:54 and 1/5. The 2 Twig, bred by Julie Farley of Ohio, also owns this homebred, 2-year-old bay gelding by Mr. Apples out of a Western Mandy, she by Western Spirit, trained by Mike Polhamus. Having a big week here in Delaware. Nicely handled here this afternoon by winning driver Chris Page. The 2 Twig, home a winner, 1:54. 1/5 to take the Buckeye Stallion Series, 3rd division, 2-year-old colt in gelding pace. Twig, Chris Page.
There is Twig getting his picture taken, the thing you want to do when you own horses. And Joe McLeod again is with us before we give out the prices. Joe, you've owned horses. In fact, Little Brown Jug Week last year was the springboard for a very special one for you that you eventually sold after that. Refresh our memory.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, it was 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'm
oh,
pink
man.
too.
I'm pink too.
It was pretty incredible time. You know, you can get involved in this sport for a minimal amount of money, and I got lucky to purchase her as a yearling, and she was a sister of the Hamiltonian winner, and I'm like, I bought her for $27,000 and said to my uncle, he goes, "You bought a yearling trotting filly? We have some in the field." I said, "Well, it's a sister to the Hamiltonian winner. If even she doesn't make it, she's going to be great for our broodmare band." Well, she happened to make it and then set the world record in Lexington, and I actually had her in the mix sale the next day, and she was a sale topper. So